Okay, so today's video I'm going to be cooking these pork ribs that I bought from Costco a while back. They do come supplied in packs of 4, vacuum packed that is, fresh as well. Now I don't really like that they're packed in 4 because when it comes to defrosting them, if you do decide to freeze them of course, the middle 2 take so much longer to defrost than the outer 2. So I like to just take them out of the packaging and vacuum pack them myself in 2 sets, as you can see, like this, and they defrost much quicker, much more evenly. So having a look at these ribs, there's a bit of fat on them. I haven't done any trimming whatsoever because they are cut a little bit thinner than I do normally like. I'm not going to bother with the membrane whatsoever, no scoring, no peeling it off, just going to leave it as is because again they are quite thin and I don't want them to fall apart all over the grill and start dropping them in the charcoal. If they were thicker, I'd take that membrane off. So as a binder, I'm going to go a little bit old school with some mild American mustard. This used to be what everyone was doing, now it seems like not anyone really does it anymore. I thought, you know what, let's just make sure that these rubs are adhering properly to these ribs. In terms of wood chunks for the smoky profile, I've decided I'm going to use some whiskey oak, and this is inspired by Totally Awesome Barbecue. If you do have a Weber kettle grill, then I highly recommend checking out his channel. Really good. He's very straight to the point, very honest with his opinions, completely unbiased. And yeah, check some of his videos out because he does, seem to know his stuff really well. Now in terms of the rub, I've decided I'm going to do 2 different rubs. A sweet rub and a savoury rub. So first up, the savoury, very simple, straightforward, some salt and black pepper. I have not dry brined these overnight, I just wanted to see how they perform, on the day really, if you was to buy these first thing in the morning and you don't have time to dry brine them. For the sweet rub, I'm going for some light brown sugar, paprika, black pepper, and to give it more of that Far Eastern flavour profile, some powdered 5-spice or ground 5-spice. Again, I'm not going to wrap these ribs because I just want to see how they perform as they are really. Just a simple, straightforward cook. Once they get to a certain temperature though, or a certain dryness on the outside, I will then start to apply a glaze. The sweet glaze is going to include ketchup, light soy sauce, a spice mix, water, runny honey, and some light brown sugar. For the savoury rub, if you prefer the sound of that one, that's going to be a can of stout, dark brown sugar, tabasco sauce, cider vinegar, and some soy sauce. I'm going to reduce them in the house on the hob, just so they go more like a sticky glaze. And then as you apply them on here, they should give them that nice shiny finish. So target temperature for these is going to be 250 degrees Fahrenheit or 121 degrees Celsius, ambient temperature that is. I'm not going to wrap these, again I just want to see how they perform as they are. Once these get to about 175 degrees Fahrenheit internal temperature, I'm then going to start glazing them with the respective glazes once every 30 minutes or so. So at this point they're looking just about done. They're measuring about 195, 196, 197 in places, Fahrenheit. Not quite super tender, but I think it's enough for these ribs. They have a nice shiny glaze on them as well. Once they come off, I'm just going to wrap them in some beach paper. I don't want tin foil because I don't want to ruin the exterior a little bit, so beach paper is what I'm using. I'm going to have a good look at these ribs. Quite windy today as well, and as you can see, the paper just trying to blow away. So first up is the savoury ribs. Let's get a closer look at them. Look at them, nice and shiny. Next up is the sweet ribs. We'll get them wrapped. Have a good look at them as well. They look even stickier than the last ones. In fact, you can still see the brush strokes. So now these ribs have had time to rest, we're going to get them unwrapped, have a good look at them, see how they cut and see what they look like inside. And of course the most important part, see how they taste and how tender they are. So they cut pretty nicely. They have a minimal smoke ring, again quite thin. I only put one chunk because I didn't want to overpower them too much. Too little smoke I find is a lot better than too much. And the second test is the sweet ribs. Let's see how they fared. They were a little bit longer on the rack, but roughly about the same thickness. Look pretty good on the exterior. Yeah, they look about the same. You know, not dried out, but a little bit drier than I would hope them to be. Once again, it's a good job I didn't go for fall off the bone ribs. So I'll get these inside, give them a good munge, both the ends and the middles, and see how they fare in the taste test. So the main question is, would I get these ribs again? And the answer is reluctantly yes, I would get them again. Like I said, I think they're, you know, they're average. I think they're a great set to, if you're practicing on them, if you're absolutely new to this, because if you can get these right, then you're going to be able to get better quality ones right, without a doubt. And they are a little bit cheaper. So, you know, they're definitely great, you know, for testing new techniques out, new sauces and things. But again, if you want that extra special flavour from the ribs, I wouldn't rely on these particular ones. Maybe later in the year I may come back to these ribs and do another video on them, and do a more optimised cook on them, just to see if we can get them, you know, taken from average ribs to good ribs, or possibly even better than that. So that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've tried these ribs before, or if you're thinking of trying them, let me know how you get on with them. But once again, thanks for watching, and hopefully see you in the next video.